Parenteau here on championship court. Parenteau earlier today won a singles title, but Anna Leigh Waters and mother Leigh Waters hope to get one back here. 14 years old, the big story, the phenom on the PPA Tour.
That's right, Drew. There has been a lot of excitement around Waters overall, and of course, the youngster, Anna Leigh, 14 years old, still for another few months. Here we take a look at her mom, Leigh Waters, 41 years old.
Yep, former tennis player at University of South Carolina. Took 2020 off with daughter Anna Leigh, but they really caught their stride during the summer when they started to win PPA Championships, and here is the road to the championship. Mark, you saw them all week play.
Yeah, that's right. It was a real treat to watch them play. Really disappointing in that semifinal against Kovalova and Jardine. Simone went for a ball and just came up limping a little bit, played a few more points, but not able to finish the match. Let's move on to the other team.
Well, Jessie Irvine, definitely hungry for a championship. Lives in LA, grew up in North Carolina, tremendously athletic UCLA product, nationally ranked junior tennis player, but again, her stock in pickleball continues to soar. And what else can you say about Catherine Parenteau, the Canadian, who just continues to take her game to new heights?
Yeah, she really has done it all. At the tender age of 27, it looks like she has a really good chance to pick up a double crown here, taking down McGrath and Newman in the quarterfinals.
Well, you took a look there at the road to the championship, and now Parenteau in the red with Irvine. We'll start in the far court. Anna Leigh Waters will serve it. Underway, Women's Doubles Championship. First point, Anna Leigh Waters and Mother Leigh.
So what I expect to see here from Parenteau and Irvine is likely they're going to be keeping most of the balls as much as possible to the mom, to Leigh Waters. Anna Leigh is going to have to work hard to take up space in the middle of the court. And when she does get a chance at those balls, she's always happy to take a rip at it. However, Morgan, I'd say she's really demonstrated this week her patience, her maturity as a player, coming along, realizing that the power game really becomes more effective when it's backed up by the soft stuff.
Oh, for sure. No, it's she's the complete package, but she's on the court with three other players that have very, very similar attributes as well.
Little bit of a miscommunication there between the Waters. Irvine gets a high forehand, buries the ball into the feet. Very tough to defend from there. We're at 1-1-1 here in game number 1 of this best of 5 match. Mark here, I can hear you.
And that's great use of the net there from Jessie Irvine.
One of the things I really like to watch, Morgan, about how Jessie Irvine plays, she's so good at being right at that non-volley line, being up tight to it, reaching forward on the forehand side to get those marginal balls, and she really can go any direction with it, which makes it really tough to defend against.
Yeah, she's certainly a multi-dimensional player. So many players out there really look to abuse the middle, and she has that shot certainly, and you'll see the power of the gods on the backhand side, especially when she really wants to rip it, but she keeps people honest on the wings as well, and that makes her an even more dangerous player.
Anna Leigh Waters pokes that ball through the middle of the court. It goes off the end of the paddle of Irvine. That means she is going to be done serving for this time around. Parenteau takes over serving responsibilities at 3-1-2 here in game number 1. That's a combination I expect we're going to see a few times today, where Waters Sr. starts to speed things up a little bit. Waters Jr. comes across the middle to take care of any business that might be floating a little too high. Speaking of too high,
and Lee Waters just exclaiming that she needed to get out of the way. It was going to hit the fence.
can you say something, Morgan, about, I mean, that play by Jessie Irvine, right? Hitting Lee Waters in the chest. Was Irvine trying to play a ball that would land in play, or was she sort of 100% going for the body and it was kind of all or nothing?
No, I do believe that she was looking to play a deep ball, but she was, you know, looking for the most amount of power she could get on it, and there is a compromise between what you could possibly keep in the court at full power. That ball just floating wide, unfortunately.
3-2-1 here in game number 1, this best of 5 match. This is the Women's Doubles Championship. Catherine Parenteau serving alongside partner Jessie Irvine, sending it to Anna Lee Waters with her mom, Lee, up at the net.
Hit long that time from Anna Lee.
May not be able to tell if you're watching from home. The wind is at the back of the team in red. So they're going to have a little bit of extra juice on those serves. And on that third shot drive right there we saw from Parenteau, which sails long. The wind is in the face of the Waters.
Yeah, to a large extent, it does sort of preclude them from being able to play too many third shot drives. So they will need to be careful when they try that shot. And we'll have Anna Lee Waters serving to Jessie Irvine. A little bit of debris on the court, but Jessie Irvine will hand to the referees, and that's sweet.
You know what I always love to see, guys, the uniforms in sync on both sides.
Yeah, look good, feel good, right? And you might get those two organized, then chances are you'll play good.
Parenteau ready to return serve. Uses that forehand slice. Something actually, Morgan, we haven't seen a lot of from Anna Lee Waters here is that backhand slice return. Typically when she hits that return, she'll hit it with 2 hands. She'll drive it either a fairly flat ball or with some top spin. But wondering whether that might be something sort of in the future we can look forward to, is seeing those sort of low slice returns, which can sometimes be tough to handle as a third shot.
Yeah, that one, I think she'd love to get that one back. It was certainly at a height where she could have done some damage. Just going back to what you were mentioning, we do often see Anna Lee and many players running around their backhand to play a forehand, whether it be a slice or just a flat sort of drive on the return.
Beautifully done by the mother-daughter duo.
Yeah, so much power on the team of Waters, but Jessie Irvine certainly can match that and possibly even top it. Parenteau, an incredible all-rounder with really supreme agility. We saw how well she was able to handle Anna Lee Waters, take the gold in the singles.
Big point that time, or at least scored there by Parenteau. Guys, Parenteau and Irvine obviously don't have the reps as a team that Lee and Anna Lee have. How big of a factor is that? I'll let you tell me after this point.
Yeah, it really is an X factor, really. And when I look at the Waters, I can see it so clearly, you know, akin to the Newmans. There's something about having a built-in training partner and doubles partner, or mixed doubles partner in the case of the Newmans, where they read each other's play so well, and they fill the gaps. You know, that said, I don't think we're going to see, you know, miscommunications from Irvine and Catherine Parenteau to get to the level they are. They all have, you know, the same kind of skill sets. No one's got any real deficiencies on the court.
Well done. Oh, just wide.
Nice example of the diversity of skills that you need to have to be able to play at this level. We saw several shots in a row where there were really full-powered shots taking full swings at them. And then we also see the importance of being able to play that dink, being able to keep that ball soft and low, out of harm's way, forcing the opponent to hit up.
Now side out to Lee and Anna Lee Waters, trailing 6-2. Here, game number one.
Around the post.
ATP. Scored again for Lee and Anna Lee. And now 3-6. That lead getting trimmed just a bit. And our first disagreement here. The officials will look at each other and make a judgment.
Yeah. Neither official willing to overrule that one. So the call stands.
Speaking of officials, right now we've got Peter Clapham
From Australia.
from Australia. He's the lead out here. Second is Jim Ryan. And in the video booth, we've got D.D. Jackson. The whole officiating crew has been doing a great job here all week at the Guaranteed Rate PPA Championship.
Anna Lee trying to put one away here. Get to the drop. Parenteau does. And that one's wide.
Oh, they did all the hard work defending well. Finally made their way back up to the kitchen courtesy of a drop shot. And we will go to a TV timeout.
That's our first timeout. Paddles down on the court. 6-5. Irvine and Parenteau over Lee and Anna Lee Waters. Game number one here in Las Vegas, women's doubles.
Jardim.
Jardim.
Simone Jardim.
Simone Jardim.
Simone Jardim. Esses gringos não sabem falar teu nome, não?
Ah, tu não tem noção das coisas que eu escuto. Hardem, Jardim.
Jardim. I knew I heard it. I got it. Simone Jardim. I don't know how she doesn't know how to say her name.
You know, there is nothing like doing a tournament here in Vegas, getting a visit in the booth from the great Patrick Sullivan himself for Jigsaw Health. We see him during the promos throughout the PPA Tour and other pickleball events. And Patrick graces us with his presence. My friend, good to see you. Good stuff. Lee and Anna Lee Waters trying to tie up this match, trailing 6-5 here, game one. Lee can't return it.
Yeah, that was a particularly loose dink there from Annalie Waters. Haven't seen her float something that high. And they're just taking a bit of time to try to solve this particular riddle. They've become so accustomed to dealing with the team of Simone Jajin and Lucy Kovalova in the final.
Really nice forehand roll there by Annalie in the last exchange. There's another one, again, landing these balls just in front of her opponents, forcing them to hit up, and if their timing is not perfect, they're likely to misfire.
And that's a little bit long.
You can see there for a moment she was going to step forward and take the ball out of the air, and then Lee Waters decides to let it bounce. That sort of moment of indecision turned into a slightly erratic forehand that was probably better left hit as another dink. They're under a bit of pressure here.
Lee Waters, little touch on it. Now Mom Lee will finish the job.
Yeah, almost an inside-out smash there. Typically that kind of ball you would think was going to go through the gap between the two players, but noticed Catherine Parenteau was moving in that direction, went behind her. Great play.
And Catherine comes right back. You mentioned, Mark, the officials and our crew for this particular match. We want to say special get well to Gail Scavangelli. She's from Naples, also spends a lot of time in Virginia. I'll tell you about her story here in just a moment. And that one is in from Irvine, but Gail Scavangelli injured in a recent tournament. Someone was going for an Ernie, ran right into her, broken leg. The entire referee community in pickleball wishing her a special get well, and people don't realize it can be a very dangerous business over there. How about this slugfest?
They're bruises, aren't they?
What is true is we continue to see the quality of the play improve and the quality of the players. They're pushing each other. We're seeing a similar quality of the refereeing overall. I know the whole team is putting into a lot of work, a lot of time and resources to really standardize the referees' best practices and to really make sure that no matter what match is being played, that we always get the right calls and everyone's out there to have a fair and fun time.
Yeah, when you got guys like Deco Bar flying around, attempting Ernie's left and right, officials trying to get in the best possible position, sometimes the rubber meets the road.
I'd love to see the Waters introduce a well-disguised drop shot when they've been able to keep, particularly Irvine, back behind the baseline with a series of attacks. It's something I've seen a lot of players do in recent time, but hasn't been utilized yet here today.
The Canadian reaches forward a little bit too late on that one, not able to get it just the way she wanted. Ball finds the net. Waters. Still in a hole in this first game, best of 5.
Chipping back away at that lead, now within 1, guys.
Yeah, good disguise there. The kind of body language she presented looked a lot like if she was just going to play another regular dink. Pulled the trigger down the middle. Oh! A rare miscommunication from Team Waters.
I think Johnny Pickleball calls that best when he says confusion alley.
Confusion alley. I go with divorce ball.
Annalie taking over the front part of the court, really all by herself. Lee Waters standing further back, letting her daughter do the work out there. Looks like we're going to have a quick timeout.
So momentum right now on the Waters family side. Parenteau getting a quick drink, trying to halt that momentum. Tied at 8. Game 1, women's singles at the PPA Championship.
Bottle can take the heat.
Lee and Annalie Waters. Saw daughter Annalie earlier this morning in the women's singles championship, coming up just short to Catherine Parenteau, but hoping to salvage the day with a victory with mom here in women's doubles. And these two, watching them compete, Mark, just a total delight.
It's true. I mean, you're out here watching veterans, right? And it's funny to say that about a 14-year-old, but the way that she plays out here, the composure of Annalie Waters, and kind of the calm demeanor of Lee Waters out here. Really, yeah, mom-daughter, but really, when it comes down to it, a great doubles pickleball team.
Yeah, and it's easy to look at her age, but the kind of reps, the amount of hours she's put into her training, you know, makes her right up there with the best of them in terms of practice time.
Oh, found a way to handle it. Still kept it alive. Oh!
And Annalie Waters ready to call it out. Mama Lee knew that ultimately that ball did drop in, and a good overrule there from Lee Waters over.
Yeah, I think Annalie was
teenage sensation.
I think she was turned around a little bit, Morgan, so she didn't really get a good look at it. Her instincts told her, okay, it looks out, but I think you're right. That ball did sneak in.
Or she just really wanted it. Who knows?
9-8, Irvine and Parenteau. 1 point lead here in game 1. So close game here in game number 1. Annalie Waters on your left, Lee Waters on your right. Annalie just 14 years old. I know we've been saying that feels like forever. She does have a birthday coming up in January. Finally be able to say 15-year-old Annalie Waters. The way she holds herself, just incredible with professionals that have played collegiate tennis and pro pickleball for such a long time. Parenteau's long.
Catherine went for that ball, got a little bit excited, high ball in the forehand. It's easy to do. Had they won that, they would have had a game point here. Instead, they're serving 9-8-2 Parenteau.
Biggest point of the match so far right here.
Good leave there from Lee Waters. So tempting to go after that ball with so much adrenaline pumping.
I mean, Morgan, one of the things that Jessie Irvine does is she sort of backs up to defend. And I think that makes sense in some cases. But what I've noticed here today is there's been quite a few balls that have been quite low, maybe around knee height, that even though she's back far from the line, she's still trying to attack. And Waters have done a very good job of letting those balls go out.
And I think it's made a little easier knowing that the wind is going to help that ball sail out, and you can almost sort of preemptively make the decision that at that height, from that position, that kind of power is going out.
Irvine and Parenteau able to win. Another side out here, chance to score more points and hopefully wrap this game 1 up. And now game point coming up. And again, timeout by the receiving team. Lee and Annalie trying to halt that momentum once again. great to have you with us here in Las Vegas at the beautiful Darling Tennis Center. Drew Felios, Morgan Evans, got Mark Renison with us. Mark, you were on the call yesterday, that emotional match. Of course, you have Simone and Lucy having to exit this women's field the way that they did. So tough to watch, and just tremendous fight from Simone Jargin.
Yeah, Simone Jargin, real legend in the pickleball world, went down with an injury after chasing down a ball. She and partner Kovalova were up ahead of Waters, and Waters, Simone not able to complete the match, and came across to let her opponents know. First thing that Lee Waters did was give her a hug, because she could see the pain she was going through and the emotion she felt having to bow out. But you know what? I think at this point, Waters have put that in the rearview mirror. They've got a job to do, and they're down a game point here.
So we'll have Catherine Parenteau serving to Lee Waters to see if they can seal game one.
Right through the legs of Irvine goes Lee Waters.
Slightly risky, I think we can all agree.
Second game point.
Irvine trying to make up for it here, serving.
And Ali tracks it down. What a point. Longest point of the match and best point. Wow. Oh, it's just
and
out.
That ball goes just long. Wow.
Inches away from greatness there from Catherine Parenteau for an incredible rally. But that's handed the ball back to young Annalie Waters to see if she can't start to bridge the gap. But it is not to be on that one.
So now second serve coming up. And this is an opportunity that Lee and Annalie cannot let get away. That's long. Side out back to Parenteau and Irvine. No damage done there.
Yeah, Waters seeming like they had to press a little bit, being down 8-10, but now game point.
And that's in. Got the line for Jessie Irvine. So a game up. Parenteau and Irvine here in women's doubles.
Yep, that Irvine forehand had just enough topspin to catch the back of the baseline. They're going to be happy to get out of that one. Taking game number one, you see here it lands just inside the line. Could have easily been out if she overhit it.
Yeah, perfect shot from Irvine. That'll take us into game two quickly.
So game number one in the books. Parenteau and Irvine. See Coach Athena schooling up Catherine Parenteau. We are back to Las Vegas right after this. Welcome back to the Darling Tennis Center. You see a look at this beautiful complex from above. And we've seen some great matches today. Catherine Parenteau, one of the true superstars in this great game of pickleball. Annalie Waters, another 14 years old, once again on opposite sides. Game one to Irvine and Parenteau.
And that ricochet just off the paddle and into either the shoulder or the facial region there, and that gives them a chance to score some points. And if I didn't know any better, I'd say Annalie is pissed off. She's looking to do some serious damage.
Just wide. And another point for Lee and Annalie. Of course, Lee Waters talked about her playing tennis at South Carolina back in the day. Her husband played for the Gamecocks as well. And that's what makes this game so cool, Mark. You can play into your late 30s and early 40s and still continue to get better in pickleball.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the game is evolving, and it's nice to be part of that, to sort of see the way players are adjusting both their technique and their tactics. And yeah, sometimes having a little more experience can be a big advantage. And that was a big advantage having that second hand on that backhand volley by Annalie Waters.
I mean, game is always evolving, guys, but do you feel like this year, 2021, it has evolved the most, and how has that happened?
Yeah, certainly. I think, you know, we all talk about how the influx of... I'll just wait for this point to finish.
Try a lob, and that one's long.
The influx of more and more high-level tennis players, for example, are affecting the game. But we've also seen the kind of counter effect that has had. The players who are veterans, have been in here doing their thing for many, many years, have lifted their game, trained more.
Just a little bit short. Mark, I remember first time I met you, 2018, Naples, U.S. Open, how the game was then and how it is now. Night and day. How about that shot by Parenteau?
Yeah, she aims it well at the forehand hip of Annalie Waters. Annalie not able to get her paddle out in front. Yeah, I do think we're seeing, you know, players refining their understanding of the times that going on offense with speed makes sense and those times that aren't. I think the technology of the equipment is changing as well, and that's allowing players to do things they might not have been able to do a few years ago. But what it means is we get to see treats like this, including that deceptive down the line forehand volley by Jessie Irvine. Had her opponents thinking the ball was going cross-court. Instead, she just lays back her wrist a little bit, plays it down the line. Well done.
Side out back to Lee and Annalie. Game number 2. I would think, though, Catherine Parenteau, probably the most in-demand player that you would want to partner with, because you have her next to you, and your game is just gonna go to that next level.
Yeah, she adds a level of security and sort of comfort that you know that if you can take care of your side of the court, that you are 100% sure that she's going to do the same, and she'll be able to do real damage whenever someone tries to attack her.
Annalie taking control. Now Mom gets into it, can't get it back.
Jessie Irvine struggling to keep that ball low enough to allow her and Parenteau to move forward safely. Ends up having to stay around three-quarter court in that transition zone, and that's so tough to defend when the ball comes at that pace down at the feet.
And she's dipped in that well one too many times. I think so far in this match, at least 2 or 3 successful inside-out shots down the line. But that one there, Lee Waters picking it off nice and early.
And got it.
Ball lands just on the line, not even a question. Once again, we saw the ball where it looked like it might go out, might not. The wind has died down a little bit. It's pretty comfortable out here now. Not as much of a factor as it was earlier today.
Overcast skies right now. Oh, how about Anna Lee tracking everything?
That is the difficult part when you've got someone like Anna Lee Waters who can really cover so much of the net. If you're the player that is 4, 5, 10 feet behind, trying to figure out where you need to be to possibly help pick up the mess if it gets through, puts you in a very difficult spot.
It's a great angle from Irvine. She's able to get that ball short and wide, one bounce, and then over the barriers. That's going to be tough to defend against.
Second serve here coming up. And that's wide as well. So another point here for Irvine and Parenteau. Anna Lee Waters backing both players up.
Yeah, that's sort of just the right spot there, right? As the players are backing up to defend, trying to get themselves a little more time to get their paddle on the ball. When you can place it so perfectly right down almost where their feet are, just into the ground, that becomes very hard to get back and do anything useful.
And that's wide.
Yeah, that's one of Lee Waters' preferred shots, and she was feeling good about it. You can tell she's been wanting to be able to tee off on that backhand, knowing full well her offspring will be right in the middle, able to handle a counterpunch very well.
So I've got to say, Morgan, as we're looking at Waters, yes, they're up in this game, but they're down, and I got to tell you, I'm wondering whether if they start to go back to their strengths, right? Their strengths are hitting those third shots hard, and while the net team is getting ready to handle the ball to come across and take something over the middle, I mean, I appreciate that they're developing this really well-rounded game, but it feels to me like sometimes they're not using their power game quite as well as we've sometimes seen in the past.
Another marathon point here in Las Vegas. Oh, Parenteau just stepped back. Looked like she stumbled just a bit there, guys.
Yeah, there's a chance it might have skidded slightly on the line. Something just caused her to be moving back through that ball. Very difficult, but incredible rally.
And that That's short. It's going to be now side out. Back to Lee and Anna Lee. 6-4 lead here, game 2.
Yeah, I think just going back to what you were talking about earlier, Mark, I think they are deliberately being a little more cautious driving thirds, knowing that the wind is with them at this point. And with any luck, we'll see them start to lift up the power game when they are on the other side of the net in game 3.
Beautifully done, Jesse Irvine. So Waters get the side out, can't score any points because of this.
Too much power from Waters. Irvine not able to play that forehand volley up and over the net. Parenteau starts serving here.
And that's going to be just a little long. So a point for Irvine and Parenteau.
Yeah, great leave from Irvine. And we've got a timeout for the TV, as is tradition.
Good match here. Women's doubles championship at the PPA Championship. Brought to you by Guaranteed Rate from Las Vegas. Welcome back here to the Guaranteed Rate PPA Championship from Las Vegas. Drew Felios, Mark Renison, Morgan Evans. A couple shout outs, guys. I'd like to give my cousin in North Carolina, Peter Dorton, avid pickleball fan, a shout out. Mark, I know you have your family watching as well.
Oh, they're probably back home at the pumpkin patch or something right now. The 3-year-old and 7-year-old, they like to see a little bit of pickleball on TV, but they'd rather be playing in the park.
I mean, I'll think of someone.
Okay.
All right, who have I got?
Somebody out there like you, Morgan?
Well, I've got a lot of Facebook friends. I don't talk to them, but shout out to everybody. Does that work? Nah, I'll think of someone.
Irvine and Parenteau, chance to score some points here and tie this game up at 6. Not this time.
Yeah, I like that kind of play by Lee Waters. She looked a little bit tentative earlier, and I think, Morgan, you're right. With that wind at their back, sometimes not being able to swing quite as freely as you'd used to. But let's see if she looks to speed things up from the kitchen again.
Yeah, I think obviously they've recognized that over the years they have become very well known for their use of the hammer, and they're now really trying to get good at the scalpel.
Another point for Lee and Anna Lee. And now 7-5. Oh, close there. Looked like it may have been wide. Right at Anna Lee.
And she's not happy about the level of that come on, with a ball contacting what we kind of assume would be abs.
Guys, I remember back.
Oh, interessante. The little lioness is getting fired up.
I was just about to say, I remember all the way back to Phoenix when you had Jessie Irvine and you had Annalie Waters going at it on the court.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing verbal, just a lot of gamesmanship, a little bit of taunting, you'd say, back and forth.
Yeah, some say if you're not playing mind games, you're only playing half the game.
Up against the post.
And we will have a timeout called by the receiving team at 8-5. Lee and Annalie Waters, game 2.
Tension's high here in Las Vegas. Women's doubles championship on the line. Lee and Annalie Waters leading 8-5 here, game number 2. And we saw some tensions get a little high there. All in the spirit of the game, though. Annalie and Jessie Irvine back and forth. Again, Irvine played collegiate tennis at UCLA. Annalie hasn't even, or just has gotten into high school. So that's what I mean. Annalie never seems to back down.
Oh, no, she's a fighter. There's no doubt about it. But, you know, it's nothing personal. They all want the gold.
She said yesterday, Mark, nothing. There's not much being nice in pickleball. These players are here to win. And that's it.
Jessie Irvine, we talked about that earlier, so good at reaching forward over that non-volley zone to get that ball while it's still high, keeping her balance, and it's so tough to read the direction she's going to play that forehand. She'd like to do that as often as possible.
Oh, sat up on the net, did not go over.
Yeah, in fairness, that ball had a look at what was on the other side of the net, decided best not, I'm just going to stay over here.
Annalie with the lob. Right at the feet.
It's a nice example. Sometimes you hear if you've got them back, you keep them back. In that case, playing at the player who was closer, Annalie Waters, was the smarter play. She was more vulnerable because she'd have less time to react. It's well done.
Great drive there from Catherine Parenteau, and that forces the timeout from Team Waters. And they will see what's needed to try and maintain their lead. It's 8-7.
Real key moment in this women's doubles final. Annalie and Lee Waters trying to hold that lead, 8-7. They got to have this game because the way that it went in the singles with Waters and Parenteau, I just don't think, Morgan, they can afford to go down 2 games to none here with Catherine Parenteau. She's just playing too good on the other side.
Yeah, she's incredibly solid. And obviously Jessie Irvine, she's been doing so much damage with that forehand down the line that seems to be catching Lee Waters by surprise. 3 out of 4 times so far.
Parenteau handcuffing Annalie there. Ball got right in tight to her body. We're at 8-8.
Yeah, we're in Vegas. If you don't end up in handcuffs at some point, you're not doing it right. We will edit that out.
Against the net.
Extra aggressive play from Jessie Irvine there, trying to sneak her way in and take a running, swinging volley with that 2-handed backhand. Finds the net. She's going to see if she can make amends here, serving.
Again with that slippery inside-out forehand. She sells it so well with her body movement and rotation to the left that she gets players going again and again towards the middle and then just drops it behind or attacks behind.
Yeah, in that case with Irvine, it's not just that she's disguising the shot, but she's sort of actively selling it as though she's doing something different. It's sort of one step beyond just kind of being neutral.
Oh, beautifully done by Parenteau. Catherine Parenteau now starting to turn it up once again.
Yeah, good job here counterattacking. Again, that high backhand is really much easier to hit when you've got that second hand on the paddle. Nice job of it there.
That one's going to go way long.
Once again, she dips in that well, and it proves effective. And we'll have Parenteau serving to Waters at 9-9.
Annalie will chase it down. Tough spot to be in, though. Oh, just couldn't do anything with it. Got her completely turned around.
I mean, that lob by Irvine was tough. She was off balance. She was reaching. She had an Ernie coming toward her by Waters. Really well-placed lob. Forces a timeout.
It's been a long and hard-fought game number 2. Irvine and Parenteau on the brink of closing it out when we return. Well, once again, a momentum shift here in game number 2. It looked like Lee and Annalie Waters were going to take the second session, send it to a game 3 tied, a game apiece. But Irvine and Parenteau again with a run at the perfect time, and now it's game point.
We've seen a lot of third shot drops from Parenteau and Irvine. I wonder here if they're serving with game point and 2 serves, if they start to speed things up a little bit. No.
Up against the net, and Parenteau and Irvine now a game away from a women's doubles title here at the PPA Championship.
Yeah, after an extended dinking rally, Irvine gets that ball on her forehand, goes cross-court. She's had some success going hard at Annalie. She does it successfully right here. You'll see catches her pretty tight to the body after pulling her out wide. Annalie not able to hang on. Ball finds the net, sends it to game 3.
Well, you talk about a mountain. This is going to feel like Everest for Lee and Annalie Waters. Now down 2-0. Going to come back in a best-of-5 for a women's doubles crown at the PPA Championship from Las Vegas. We'll be right back. Championship Sunday here in Las Vegas. Jessie Irvine, her and Catherine Parenteau. 11-8, 11-8. Now to game 3 we go. Waters family serving. Annalie comes out firing, but Parenteau has an answer.
All right, I was wondering if we'd see something like that coming out here with Irvine Parenteau up 2 games. Annalie does not look very happy right now. Good question here, Morgan, whether she's able to sort of keep those emotions in check and sort of channel them and use them effectively, or if they get the better of her, leading to some poor shot selection.
Yeah, well, their backs are up against a wall right now, so something needs to happen.
Something like that.
For my money, I think focusing on her counter-punch ability and her general positioning, along with her mother as well, that's going to pay dividends.
But those two are just hammering away at each other.
They really are. They've got something to prove. By contrast, the lady she just played in singles, Catherine Parenteau, she seems fine with.
And emotions were running high on some of the other courts here throughout the week. This game can certainly get heated, Morgan.
Yeah, certainly. And it's a sign of the times.
Well, still, though, pickleball, what sets it apart is friendliness, welcoming.
Oh, it's a very inclusive sport.
Yep.
So a pattern I'm interested to watch for, especially if we start to see Annalie take up more space in the middle, is Irvine using that cross-court dink way out wide, possibly even so wide that it could be hit as an around the post. But if Annalie's in the middle of the court, she may not be able to get behind it enough to do that. Let's watch to see if Irvine goes cross-court with these dinks.
I think you're right, though, Mark. The Waters, they weren't on all attack mode in those first few games. You've seen a different level here in this first part of game number 3.
Well, I think we kind of saw that at the very start of game 2 as well, where Annalie was being deliberately more aggressive. It looked like she had something to prove.
Oh!
And that is one of the better mishits you'll ever see.
That ball lands in, again hitting into the wind a little bit, which is in the face of the Waters.
Lee's having a good laugh about it. She knows if she hit that clean, that was probably into the bleachers.
So all guns a-blazing here. Game number 3. Their backs against the wall. It's go time for the Waters family. 5-0 out of the gates. And we're back after this. So 5-0 here in game number 3. Drew Felios with Mark Renison and Morgan Evans. Hannah Johns also chiming in with interviews after each match. Lee Waters, her and daughter Annalie trying to battle their way back. Down 2 games.
There's that cross-court dink we were talking about. Ooh.
And Annalie Waters adds a little extra yeah on that one. She's keeping count. But that does extend the lead to 6-0.
In this case, it's a matter of weathering the storm, the team in red. Realizing that, you know, players who go with this power game are very often going to hit these hot streaks where they're hitting these hot streaks, where they're connecting perfectly, where the timing is right, and they're gonna have a lot of success like that. If you can weather the storm and hope to outlast them, you may be able to hang in there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You can't allow your emotion and your displeasure with your opponent's level really change your game plan until such time you feel like you're executing your shots very well and the game plan isn't working. In which case, yes, it's certainly time to make some changes.
6-0 lead. It's been all Waters family here as Annalie goes for the kill. Can't get it done there. And Irvine and Parenteau trying to get on the board. Finally do here in game 3. How about Annalie? Parenteau not moving. Oh.
Oh.
Oh, what a point.
What an exchange.
And for it to finish on one of the softer balls of the entire rally, just incredible.
Again, I like it's this double-edged sword, right? We see Annalie being assertive, taking up space, coming across the middle, hitting balls that were directly in front of her mom, but that is going to open up that sideline, and Irvine is able to find it in that case with a little bit of top spin. That's a pattern that I suspect Irvine and Parenteau are going to try to keep using.
Yeah, it's all very well taking up that much space, but you've got to know your enemy so well to see what's actually exposable. And Irvine does have a fantastic cross-court dink.
And Lee Waters hits into the net there, another point. So Irvine and Parenteau starting to carve into that lead. 6-2 here. And that'll be a point for the Waters. Boy. Some big time pickleball we're watching right now, folks.
Oh,
Lee Waters catches the top of the net with that backhand. Catherine Parenteau making her work hard. Good overhead smashes. A lot of variety in that point, Morgan.
yeah, they are having point after point of dashes of brilliance in every facet of the game. Obviously phenomenal dinks, but the power exchanges followed by resets. Gah. Good to have the best seat in the house here, mate.
There it is.
What I think is so important for viewers at home to realize here is that when these players hit these balls hard, they expect it to come back, and expect it, as you like to say, Morgan, to come back with purchase, right? To come back with speed. Being ready for those multiple ball exchanges, so important here. These four women doing a good job of it.
Another point right there is going to be 7-3 now. Irvine and Parenteau trying to establish some momentum. Waters family making it very hard for them to do that thus far in this game. Into the net, side out coming.
She would love to get that one back all over it. Got a good read, showing that kind of anticipation that she showed so well in the singles final.
Hard forehand flick right at the body of Annalie Waters. She makes contact with it, but it sails long. She's going to take over serving here from the left side and then slide to the right side of her court.
Yeah, and so often you kind of hear about the power player, per se, taking the left side of the court so they can handle more third balls. And Lee, obviously an incredibly dominant player on the right side, might seem a little odd to some, but we'll talk about that soon.
Oh, right down the middle.
Annalie's favorite shot and what she's really become well known for is that massive two-handed backhand. It's versatile, but it is huge, and she can reach so much with it. And if she wasn't on the right-hand side of the court, wouldn't be quite as effective in the middle. So at 8-3, we will take a commercial break and come back quickly to see the close of game.
Welcome back to the Darling Tennis Center here in Las Vegas. 8-3, game number 3. Waters family needs this game to stay alive. Catherine Parenteau has just been playing incredible pickleball all week long. Jessie Irvine with her. And on the other side, the Waters family, they win a championship as far as the uniforms are concerned coming in here, but trying to do it on the court.
Certainly creative.
Yep. Parenteau with the final say.
Good job by Catherine coming forward quickly. She saw that ball was high, wanted to get as soon as she could. She's got some work to do here, though, at 3-8-1.
That's a rare transition area error from Jessie Irvine. I've been very impressed with her ability to keep the ball dropping delicately in the kitchen from some tough locations.
Anna Lee, nice point. Morgan, if I told you just watching this from my unbiased eye, if I'm looking at the Waters clan, I want to play fast break pickleball. I don't want to get into a slow dinking game. Is that pretty accurate here?
Yeah, I mean, I think they would certainly like to gamble their hand speed and their power in that arena, that real power game. However, it's not that simple. If their opponents can keep the ball low enough, it becomes a very risky decision to pull the trigger. So they will be patient until they either counter or find a high enough ball.
Anna Lee, right back down the middle. That's been the sweet spot today.
Yeah, for sure. She was sitting on that brilliantly, read the play fantastically.
What happened there?
Oh, we had a walk away. There was a ball that was threatening to come on the court. So we will have a replay of that.
And now side out coming for Irvine and Parenteau.
Yeah, Parenteau doing a great job of exposing the middle. At times where the Waters are looking to defend the wings, she is managing to find some nice low balls to force some tough middle errors.
Good hands battle. And again, short from Lee Waters. Timeout. Again, momentum shifting in this match. So many momentum shifts we've had today. As Lee and Anna Lee trying to hang on a 4-point lead here. Irvine and Parenteau hot on their tails. Can they trim the gap and make it a sweep? We'll find out next. Well, we love checking out some of our fans here at the PPA Championship. And this young man, I'm telling you what, guys, he's going to be one of the next great pickleball players. Leo Chun.
Leo, yes, he's been doing the rounds, hasn't he? He is a PPA fan.
I believe you call them court rats.
I never said that.
Well, he is a star in social media.
Okay.
On Facebook.
Really? So he's like Mark.
I was definitely a court rat growing up as a kid, and I got a lot of appreciation for them. Meanwhile, I'm appreciating this match right now. 5-9-1, Irvine Parenteau.
Oh, how about that from Irvine? And there it is, won by Parenteau and Irvine.
Yeah, they forced the team of Waters to take the first risk there, and they're sitting on their attacks pretty well. Fantastic anticipation.
Waters really need this point. Temperature's starting to build. Starting to rise.
Great defense from Irvine.
Oh, wow. That's long.
Wow.
Wow, yeah, sometimes all you can do is say, wow. I think it's easy to forget the job sometimes up here in the commentary booth, because at heart we're still fans and we can get really absorbed into such epic rallies.
Waters trying to get that all-important side out here. And they will get it.
So that's twice now that we've seen, twice in a row, Jessie Irvine sitting on that backhand ready for the counterattack. She's connected but has not controlled the distance. And now all of a sudden 9-6-1. Waters serving.
That's short. So now we've got game point coming up for Lee and Anna Lee. And just have a different feel to this match right now. And there it is. So 11-6. They win game number 2. And Mark, they are still alive.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think there's any surprise that Waters are extending this game here. Irvine Parenteau did a good job fighting here, but you know, Anna Lee really came out hot pretty early on in this third game. I expect to see more of the same in number 4.
So we're going to a game 4 here in Las Vegas. Stand by, everybody. Don't you dare go anywhere. Darling Tennis Center, the place to be today in Las Vegas, and there are some really awesome events going on throughout this area this week. But women's doubles, you got the Waters family, and then you got Irvine and Parenteau, and the Waters family comes out firing here to begin game 4.
Yeah, a lot of people talking about this this Gaga person. I'm not sure who that is. Apparently she's in town, but yeah, for my money, this is where you want to be.
We've also got the EDC Festival this weekend.
Yes.
I know Mark will be going to that and dressing up.
Oh man, I've been ready for some electronic dance music all my life, Drew.
Well, just stay ready. It'll find you.
Take lots of pictures for us, please.
2-0-1, an early lead for Waters and Waters here in game number 4.
Yeah, hotel's very hard to come by this weekend, guys.
I'll be sleeping here at the Darling Tennis Center.
And we found a lovely soup kitchen. So, you know, there are places.
So again, that's the pattern that we talked about earlier. I think if Waters, Annalee Waters that is, continues to be that aggressive over the middle of the court, I expect we're going to keep seeing Jessie Irvine try to pull her out wide, get her running for those balls on those cross-court dinks.
Yeah, I'm loving just how measured Jessie Irvine is these days. So stable over the ball, gives herself plenty of time for pause.
Yeah, she looks very rarely like she's rushing. You know,
No,
even in
yeah.
that case, that counterattacking two-handed backhand, right? She looked like she sort of saw it coming well before it was hit.
Yep, good quick early push off, but then plenty of time to relax, check your opponents, see what's happening, make a good decision. And Annalee Waters sure to add a little accentuation to that come on. Arguably the most adorable come on in the game.
And a little bit wide that time. We're in game number 4, guys, so I got to ask you this. Either one of you can take it. Do you like the 5-game format, or do you prefer best of 3?
Well, I would tend to cramp out in game 2, so not for me, but I love the fact that these people do it.
Can't wait to hear your answer, Mark.
Yeah, he cramps in game 1, don't worry.
The ball is just wide. Yeah, I love the best 3 out of 5. I mean, it's tough for the players. You know, they've been out there a long time already today, but I do think it feels more special, right?
Sure.
This championship match, being best 3 out of 5, and I know as the fans, the more pickleball, the better. So
Yeah, no, certainly. It does add even more gravity to the game when you get into game 4 and 5.
Oh, just over. Irvine gets a break. A lot of differing opinions, whether it's 3 games, 5 games, also double elimination, single elimination. That debate has also been had often here in 2021, which is better during PPA tournaments.
Yeah, and I kind of think one complements the other. If you've got a single elimination, then you're going to be playing less matches. If you're heading through to the final, you're not going to be going through the back draw and reaching the gold and then having to be playing a best of 5. So, and obviously it being on a different day, that allows players to recoup, gather themselves. So we're seeing the best of the best and not after a day of tiresome play.
Irvine and Parenteau trying to get a little separation here. And that's in.
Yeah, she looked like she was about to do it 1 or 2 shots earlier. Held back. Well played, Jessie Irvine.
And a timeout on the court. Waters again sensing a momentum shift here. I want to try and halt it just a little bit. Parenteau and Irvine, 5-2. Game 4 here in Las Vegas. Welcome back to Las Vegas. Drew Felios, Morgan Evans, Mark Rennison with you here. Hannah Johns joining us as well. And I must say, it is great to have Mr. Mark Renison back in the stadium with us. Long time off, Mark. I know up north of the border, waiting for your opportunity to get back here and be a part of this great game. It is a thrill to have you.
Well, thanks, Drew. It's nice to be here. It's nice to be part of this PPA Championships, and always love being in the booth with you, with Morgan, and most importantly, watching some great pickleball. We're back to it. Irvine Parenteau, 5-2, 1.
And right now, again, that momentum continues. Oh, just too much.
Yeah, they are teaming up so well at the moment, Irvine and Parenteau, having a good understanding of each other's roles. Irvine moving out of the way in a timely fashion for Parenteau to take that forehand and do the real damage.
Yeah, they have been so much on the same page. Finally, Lee Waters breaks up some of that rhythm, but they need another point here. They desperately need a side out. And they will get one.
Lee Waters attacks with the backhand through the middle. Both Parenteau and Irvine go for that ball. Neither is able to connect well. And ball's back in play, and the lead to serve.
Lee Waters a little frustrated.
Yeah, there's been a handful of slight errors in recent times there. She's going to need to wash them out of her memory.
Anna Lee fires right back, and a point within 4 now, 7-3. And make it another point.
Certainly trending in the right direction now, and for that reason, the receiving team, Irvine and Parenteau, will call a timeout. Middle of game 4. Let's see what they can do.
7-4 the score. Back to Vegas in a moment. Welcome back to Las Vegas. 7-4, Catherine Parenteau and Jessie Irvine. You know, I had a chance back in April to meet the French Bulldog of Catherine Parenteau, Zoe. What an experience that was. Probably the cutest dog I've ever seen.
All right, we will know where to look if said dog ever goes missing.
I'm telling you, man, that thing was adorable. 2 in a row from the Waters, trying to make it 3 in a row here. And there it is.
Lee Waters doing a good job there, ready for that response from Irvine. She gets the high ball and then changes direction quickly.
Too much.
Pretty high risk there, Morgan, going that close to the sideline. I was expecting a ball to go more through the middle there, but she places it well.
High risk, high reward.
That one's long. Second serve coming up now for Parenteau and Irvine. Skates across the net. Anna Lee cannot dig it out.
I've been so impressed with Jessie Irvine's drop down the line. You know, we see so many third shot drops typically going cross court. They had a game plan. They know the general positions that Team Waters are in and who they want to target on that shot. And they've been able to execute it beautifully.
Oh, that looked long, and Lee will call for it.
All right.
Are we getting a review, guys?
Looks like we could have a challenge. Yep. So we'll be able to have a look at the replay here. From this angle,
Now,
it did seem a little long. But
I thought it was long, but my vision is nowhere near 20/20.
15-20 or so.
On a good day.
Let's see what we got here. Oh, oof. That was close. That looks like it has... Ooh.
It was called out?
It was called...
I say that's out. Bam. Yep, it's out.
We're going to get... Yeah, I'll back up my my partner in the booth here.
Tough call to make, even with the replay, Mark.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at that 50 times, and still.
Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable that that's going to be called out, but we'll see. I mean, who knows? Maybe the referees, I'm sure the referees have all sorts of camera angles that we don't have here in the booth. So we'll just sit back and relax for a moment. And you know what? This weather-wise, it's really sort of settling in nicely. We're at 4:30 local time, and it's warm, it's sunny. There's virtually no wind. It's quite pleasant out here now.
Absolutely beautiful conditions here. Lee and Anna Lee. Family affair over there.
Yep, you can see there's her dad in the background,
Yep.
and Annalee's dad, that is, and he really sort of stays pretty quiet here.
Just
even
full
during
of advice, really. Look at him.
Yeah, even during Annalee's singles match, it was Lee who was courtside, giving the advice, doing the coaching. Dad just sort of sitting back, taking it all in.
Yeah, and therefore they're still married. He knows his role. It's great. Smart man. A fantastic golfer, apparently, Stephen.
All right, let's get the call. Yep. So the ball is ruled out. That will be a point for the Waters family here. And now 5-8-1.
Great response there from Irvine. She's one of the few players that can develop almost the same power with a single and a double-handed backhand, and also knows when to use each.
Irvine found herself backing up there. She was pretty far back in the court with something we talked about earlier today. Found her way back forward again and then took a step back. Misfires on that dink.
Well, this has been a mountain for Lee and Anna Lee, and they are sensing the mountaintop coming up here a point away.
They may have indeed found their Sherpa and are ascending to the top.
We're all tied, guys. It is a different game.
Look for Waters to be aggressive here.
But the net to do its job.
Well played by Irvine. We talked earlier about how patient she's been today, how composed she has been under pressure. That was a nice example, giving that ball just enough speed to get it to three-quarter court and the feet of Waters, but not doing more than that since it wasn't necessary.
And now timeout on the court. Lee and Anna Lee once again trying to extend. They have got to win this game in order to force a game 5. All right, back to live action here. The PPA Championship brought to you by Guaranteed Rate. 9-8, Irvine and Parenteau leading game number 4. They can find a way to get 2 points here. They are women's doubles champions.
And with 2 serves to go, they've got a little bit of room here. Irvine started that exchange in part by reaching forward, taking that volley out of the air as a dink. A little too much speed on it to let Waters start to attack.
Huge point here, guys.
Ooh.
And it goes to Irvine and Parenteau. And now match point coming up.
Championship point.
Gold medal point.
Any other points we can think of?
Oh, no.
Oh,
wow.
Catherine Parenteau. Little luck never hurts. Jessie Irvine, women's doubles champions here in Las Vegas.
Wow.
And a warm embrace.
Let's see right here. This attacking shot clips off the top of the net, stays there for a moment, drops over. Parenteau puts up the apologetic hand, but you know that she and Irvine are going to be thrilled with this outcome.
Everything Catherine Parenteau has touched this week has turned to gold.
And she has the elusive double crown, the singles and the doubles. And I would say in the near future, she will be more than capable of a triple crown. Wonderful play there from the team of Jessie Irvine and Catherine Parenteau.
Good effort by Waters and Waters today. They didn't quite have enough to take this one. Morgan, it really struck me that they held back a little bit and didn't quite go to the game style that has always benefited them a lot. But I mean, it's a process, right? Developing as a team.
Oh, certainly. The standout feature of the match, for my money, was the disguise that, in particular, Jessie Irvine was able to bring to the table. That kept Lee Waters honest, and on occasions when Anna-Lee Waters was in front of her, did a great job there as well, coming behind her when she was crowding the middle. Really a well-rounded performance from a team that I think we're going to see in more and more finals coming up.
Yep, Jessie Irvine, Catherine Parenteau. That trophy looks good with them. And they are going to join Hannah Johns in the winner's circle when we come back to the PPA Championship. Welcome back to the Guaranteed Rate PPA Championship here in Las Vegas. And a congratulations to Jessie Irvine and Catherine Parenteau. And they are standing by in the winner's circle now with our Hannah Johns.
Welcome on court with our champions, Catherine Parenteau, Jessie Irvine. Guys, that was an amazing match. This puts you at 2 titles apiece just for this tournament alone. You have another win in singles. You have a win in mixed doubles. Ladies, how on earth did you dominate so thoroughly in this event?
I guess we were ready for it. We were looking forward to playing today, and we just had an amazing teamwork, and I think that's what happened, and we just ended up winning.
Anything you guys are using courtside to pump yourselves up for these matches?
I think anytime we went back courtside, it was just kind of getting back to what is the strategy, what do we need to do next, you know, when we're doing the right things, you know, staying positive, even if it doesn't work, which is hard because you get frustrated But it was always kind of just reminding ourselves what the game plan was because it was working. And yeah, it was. We had a great game plan going in, and we kind of every time we stuck with it, good things happened, and this was the outcome.
Yeah. Catherine, you're the queen of going down on court in pursuit of a ball, getting the ball back, getting back up, even winning the point. What's your secret?
I don't know. I just work on my legs. Legs day, it's important. But I'm surprised I haven't been scratching any of my knees in the past few tournaments, so that's improvement. But just a lot of leg days.
Congratulations to you both, ladies. Thanks for your time. We're taking you back on court to watch our last final today.
All right, good stuff. Hannah Johns with our women's doubles champions, Irvine and Parenteau. When we come back, we've got men's singles championship, PPA Championship.